weird noises. Alright, this week is week 7. Oh, that's cool. There's some sheep in our neighbor's yard. Wow, cool. We started this week in Moab and kind of took an easy week because it was our last week. We were kind of just chilling, getting ready to move on to California. So this week started with a little trip to the river where Anna's been kind of hanging out during the day. And then we went back into Arches National Park and did a couple really short, really nice trails there. One's called the Windows, which takes you maybe like a mile and leads you to like 2 or 3 arches that overlook the park. It's really pretty, super accessible. And then we went across the street to Double Arch, which is this like massive double arch system that you can go inside of, and it's like, doesn't seem real. It's really cool, super suggest going to check that out. During the day it was really stormy, and so on the drive back to our campsite there were some crazy colors in the sky. You go just south of Owl Rock, where we did the climb last week, or 2 weeks ago. There's another tower called Bullwinkle Tower, which has a 5'8" chimney that goes up it. I climbed it, and then we headed out when the sun was low. We kind of got into the habit of going to the Moab Rec Center Park after work every day. We would kind of just hang out there and lay in the grass under a tree until it got cooler out, until it dropped to like 99. And I got to spend some time organizing the Jeep, took everything out, put it back in, cleaned it up a little bit, improved the latching system on the little pantry area. So now it's a lot more secure. After work on Thursday, we drove to Capitol Reef National Park. We camped just outside the park on some BLM land, and it was this like crazy landscape. Everything was gray and like hilly, kind of felt like we were on the moon, like very moon looking. Gaia GPS with the public land layer and the MVUM, motor vehicle use map layer on. And that is super helpful for finding free camping, dispersed camping on public land. The next day we drove into Capitol Reef National Park and we did a short hike called the Grand Wash Hike. Started to kind of storm and get pretty rainy, so we went and got pies at the Gifford House, which is kind of an old 1900s house where they make pies and sell little trinkets and stuff in the park. After that hike, we left Capitol Reef and drove back towards Zion, which is west, kind of southwest.
We should go where the tricks.
And found a campsite on some BLM land out there, just outside the east entrance. We were planning on doing a bunch of climbing, but it turns out they still have restrictions on climbing due to a lack of rangers in the park. So we went and did the Watchman's Trail, which is just a 3-mile hike up to a viewpoint. And then we went and hung out at a river close to the trailhead, and it felt amazing to just stick our feet in the water and like cool down after a hot hike.
Yeah, dude,
After that hike, we all left, planning to meet somewhere outside of Mojave National Preserve in California. And on the way, I got to stop in Vegas to see my friend Natalie, which was lovely as expected. After I left Vegas, I met up with Adam and Anna outside this solar farm that's on the eastern side of California by Prim, California. There's some BLM land there, and we set up camp and took some photos of the comet and everything, and it was super, super pretty. We woke up the next day and drove to where we're staying for week 8, which is in Oakhurst, California. And on the drive here, I went through Sequoia National Park and Sequoia National Forest, and then a little bit into Kings Canyon National Park as well. I've got a super busy work week this week, but we're gonna try and get into Yosemite. They've restricted the day passes, so you need to get a permit. We got a permit this morning, so we have a pass for the next week. Week 7 was a big traveling week, I think. We drove a lot. A lot of the video stuff's driving. But it was super fun and an interesting week to go out of Utah into California. I'm looking forward to staying in California outside Yosemite and getting to climb and hike back in Yosemite. The last time I was there was in 2015. And I didn't really get to climb, or I wasn't climbing at all, so it's going to be a very different Yosemite experience for me. As always, appreciate you watching and keeping up. It's been really fun, and I'm really excited to keep going. We're kind of planning on staying in California for 2 or 3 weeks and then going up to Oregon and spending 2 weeks there, and then 2 weeks in Washington, in the Seattle area and the surrounding like national parks and national forest systems and stuff, and then going to Glacier, I think, in Montana, and hanging out near like Bozeman, Missoula, all that, and then going south through Jackson. We've got this big plan. I don't know how much of it's gonna actually happen, but I am planning on meeting a couple of people in Moab on September 18th, so I think I'll be back in the southwest then. And that's as far as we've got planned. But you know, there's really no telling what could happen. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Cactus.